Ukraine's Zelensky says civil partnerships for same-sex couples may become legal. On Tuesday, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky responded to a petition asking to legalize same-sex marriage in the country. In a statement, he wrote, quote, "According to the Constitution of Ukraine, marriage is based on the free consent of a woman and a man, Article 51. The Constitution of Ukraine cannot be changed during a state of war or emergency." And that's coming from Article 157 of the Constitution of Ukraine. At the same time, the government worked out solutions regarding the legalization of civil partnerships registered in Ukraine as part of the work on establishing and ensuring human rights and freedoms. In accordance with Article 116 of the Constitution of Ukraine, the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine takes measures to ensure the rights and freedoms of people and citizens. Taking into account the above, I turn to the Prime Minister of Ukraine with a request to consider the issue raised in the electronic petition and inform about the relevant results. That's end quote. Wow. What do you all think?
Well, and he said, quote, "All people are free and equal in their dignity and rights."
Yeah, it's
Wow.
powerful.
Can you imagine Putin saying something like that?
No, but that would never
I mean,
happen.
it's just, it's mind-blowing what a different kind of person he is.
He is recognizing his LGBTQ citizens as families and as citizens fighting for their country. Because we've done several stories, I know, Al, on this show about a drag queen that was fighting on the front lines as well as on her keyboard. A couple of trans people I know we've talked about.
That's right.
This is bringing people together, and I think it could really affect real change. It also doesn't hurt that it helps get the EU bloc behind you even further, because that is part of it.
You're suggesting there also could be a political motivation for him to do
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we put that on the table, and that would be completely appropriate,
Yeah.
because that's what a president of a country does. He acts
that's
in
his
a
job.
political
That's
nature,
his
right?
job.
That's his job. So you don't criticize him for doing his job, and you put that on the table. You know what's interesting to me? President Zelensky is doing something that is really quite brave, in my opinion. They're in the middle of this war. They're doing better than the start by all means. Putin and Russia does not seem to be perceptually doing as anywhere near what they thought was going to happen. But Zelensky doesn't have access to any polling. Ukraine and Russia are brothers and sisters. They're kissing cousins. So much of the attitude in Russia is the same attitude in Ukraine, and in Ukraine in Russia. So Zelensky is going out on a limb here, asking the prime minister to explore the protection of following up these requests that are coming in for civil union for LGBTQ plus. That is very brave, because he does not know if he has the support of all Ukrainians in majority opinion. That is especially brave when you compare and contrast it to Putin and Russia. Putin is on a drive to completely eliminate LGBTQ.
Annihilate. Yep.
Meaning you don't exist. We have no queer people in Russia. You contrast that to Zelensky, who have the same kind of personality of an electorate in the Ukraine, where that person is saying, no, not only do they not exist, they do, but they should be allowed civil rights and civil unions. That's a compare and contrast. The place of the two major places that have taken refugees from Ukraine is Poland, who is now famous for their LGBTQ free zones and being sued by the EU, and Hungary, who has had among the most aggressive outside of Russia, the most aggressive and egregious attacks on LGBT inside the European Union. All of these surrounding Zelensky, President Zelensky. If nothing else from this story, the man is tremendously brave, because he does not know where Ukrainians ultimately sit on that. And that speaks volumes for him saying, wait, rights are rights. We'll see where all of this goes, but they should have it. And that's what he accomplished. And we're telling that story.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+ community.